Taskforce Z number 9, written by Matthew Rosenberg, with art by Eddie Barrows, Eber Ferreira, Adriana Lucas, and Rob Lee. And we are continuing where we left off in this story, where previously we saw Jason Todd get the crap kicked out of him by the rest of the Bat family, where he got a bunch of, crap kicked out of them as well from Jason Todd. But he got away with the last of the Lazarus resin that Batman had. But out of nowhere, we're just starting up like, spoiler, Stephanie Brown met Jason Todd down the train tracks where he escaped from previously, and like, hey, what's going on? If you keep being an asshole, you're going to lose your family. Oh, and by the way, there's some weird shit going on in Bloodhaven at this ice rink. You should go get your zombie team and go check it out. And this is the weirdest part of the book, because while it's nice to see Steph, a lot of people are Steph fans, it feels like a weird idea to have her here to give this information and for the rest of the book to be about our heroes who like the idea that we have given off the Lazarus resin, we have made more, so we now have a zombie horde once again with KGB, Solomon Grundy, Bane, and Madame Crow, and Copperhead and Zaz. We go off to Bloodhaven to this roller rink where...
Ice rink. I like that it's the Snyder. And here we go again.
Snyder rink, yeah. But we have the idea that the character, one of the characters that started off this Taskforce Z team, the Sundowner, she is here, and we have to fight her, and I have no idea why. This character...
This is a weird play.
I personally forgot about, but why we need to bring her back, and I have no idea why she's here.
It felt weird. I mean, this is the idea where you usually have a Suicide Squad where you go, oh my God, Slipknot, yeah, you're going to die. In this, it's almost like, well, what do we have? What character can we use that we could just completely get rid of? Because we're going to grab their blood and make more Lazarus. I'm like,
why
really?
Did we need to do that?
I don't know.
We just spent last issue getting more Lazarus resin to make more Lazarus resin. And even when we have the idea, it's like, we have Sundowner. And if you don't remember her, she's Hannah Hobart. And when the lights go out around her, this Sundowner demon comes out and is a monster and a big problem. To the idea where, like, but Hannah Hobart, the host of this demon, she's already dead. So it doesn't matter. So we actually take her. We actually fight this entire thing and take her back.
It takes a while, too.
We're just going to get the Lazarus resin that's still in her body out of her blood and then blast our teammates with it with like a weird light ray, it seemed like to me. But we were already okay. I don't feel like we needed an issue to do this.
You get her blood, and they do mention like this will keep us going for a day or two. So I guess you have to keep doing this. But why are we doing it at this point where it's a weird scavenger hunt to just end up going and like, oh man, that used to be the other team that we were on.
Why was she here? Why
I don't
did
know.
Steph
She was sitting there.
About
it seemed to be a
why
setup.
Is it in Bloodhaven?
Why aren't they going back to Steph? And it's funny when you first started, when you're like, hey, and spoiler. So I thought you were like, ooh, what's he spoiling? But you were just saying Steph. But yeah, it seems like
I'm sorry. She's not even spoiler anymore.
I know,
she's a
but
Batgirl.
Even then, it seems like it was a setup. Like she was stupid, but it wasn't. And you end up going, but it was, but it wasn't. She's there, and you have this ice rink where I'm thinking, okay, what do we have? Freeze again? Or are you just doing this because they're zombies? They have to be on ice. I don't know why you're going all the way to Bloodhaven for this.
I'm saying, though, you have Powers International security goons at this ice rink that has Sundowner in it for some reason. And it's connected to like Powers International, who are our adversaries for our team in this book. But why is this here in Gotham? The
book's getting a little convoluted, and even trying to remember what it is, what team is going. Agreed. And that's my problem.
Well, especially because Sundowner comes back out of nowhere.
Last issue was my book of the week that week because I really liked that progression. Almost like what we said earlier about Robin, about Damian. We finally got a deal where, Jason Todd steps up and says, I mean, even just that. Yeah, the idea, I didn't get killed by a crowbar. I got blown up, but I have this crowbar, so shut up and I'm going to beat you up. And I thought it was really good. Then you go to this, he's walking around with his coffees, right? He's having that with Steph. And then they go off. I'm like, what is going on here? Also, you just have, we've had the characters, Copperhead, Zez, but they're just like, they're there for their lines. Then they do this. Then you have Sundowner. And I'm like, what?
I really thought we were in the final phase of this. Like, okay, we need to A, get Lazarus resin, B, get our team all juiced up, and C, storm the gates of freaking Powers International and take down Jerry Powers and Mr. Bloom and possibly Man-Bat. But the idea now, we're going off on missions to find Sundowner for some reason, while Harvey Dent goes and makes freaking, plays real estate with Black Mask, and then they haggle about the price of it. I'm like, what are we doing Mask, I'm like, oh, issue? Man.
And then just as a deal, almost as if, well, I know I don't have shit going on here. So what I'm going to do is, out of nowhere from the shadows walks Derek Powers. Hey there, guys, what are you doing? My name's Derek, Derek Powers. I'm like,
even when you have that, it's a fine call. I wish you would have done it at some other point, but when you have Mr. Bloom and Kirk Langstrom, who's been made into a man now from all the bullshit we saw. He's just a man and he's down with Mr. Bloom. I don't know why. It seems like a weird choice, but we're going to go into the secret records of Powers International and like the lights are out. And for some reason, we just have little boy Derek Powers standing in the shadows like, hey, who are you?
Hey there, boys, like, what are you? I'm like, what's a ghost kid? And then I'm like, oh, it's Derek. Why wouldn't you have had at some point where he's going around? It's bring your son to the evil, corporation day. And you have Jerry walking around. And at least introduce Derek at one point. Now we see he likes to go around in the shadows. He likes to play with the things and stuff. But out of nowhere, he just walks out. I'm like, I really was. Is it a ghost kid? Oh, it's Derek Powers. You're playing this game where we're supposed to be impressed by that. Cares
is the first big bad of Batman Beyond 35 years from now.
So that is supposed to be like, oh my God, is this
blight?
Is there a possibility that at some point you end up having it being a collectible issue only because in the timeline this might be his first appearance? I don't know how that plays out, but this idea that he just walks out. I mean, even as he walks out with his hands and hey there, what's going on, boys? Oh, man, who are you? My name's Derek. Derek Powers. My mom owns this building. All right, I don't know why you're here, but get out of here. It really is like Mr. Bloom, like, oh, man, you little scamp. Now get out of here.
I just know if I'm standing in a place, I'm at my mother's work or something like that, and there's a guy who's like, a weird slender man with a freaking mask with a flower. I am not approaching that man. I'm shitting my pants and hiding and hopefully not crying loud enough that they can hear me.
With that's my problem, is you'd have Mr. Bloom. I don't know who has the better sense of smell here, him or Kirk, but somebody's going, why do I smell shit? Because I'm right there behind the filing cabinet shitting my pants, and it just keeps going. I mean, I'm like my own human centipede. Or something going on. I'd be shitless. I end up where he just comes out, hey there, just to give that line and go off. And then when Mr. Bloom's like, hey there, and he's like, almost like he's checking his head. He's doing the phrenology. Oh my, look at you. As he's there, like, being, I get the hell out of there. But then you just go from there where you do set up that Bloom is going into the files. But we know that. We already know that he has checked things out. When you do get to the point where he's really throwing where Jerry's like, well, you don't know about that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And goes, that's fine. I just think that by the end of this, you're going to have Jason and all them go in, and Bloom's going to play his game. Hey, I was on your side the whole time. I was working from within. Ha, ha, ha. Let's go.
The idea that our big cliffhanger for this issue, for all this non-really story-related stuff, is that when they were escaping the ice rink and they were, presented by freaking more Power International goons, Bane, I guess, was captured and taken to Powers International in Gotham. And it seems now that through, grabbing different Venoms and stuff like that, Mr. Bloom, we have Bane, Zombie Bane, on Mr. Bloom's side of Powers International to go up against our heroes when we finally do invade at some point. That's our cliffhanger. Bane's on the other side. Haha.
For some reason, I thought Bane got away. And he wasn't captured, but he was captured. Then you get that mention of all the Venom and all this. I don't know.
This is a down-ass issue.
Yeah, when we're getting to the end, it feels like sometimes you'll rush things. Oh, we're going to set. But this feels convoluted. It feels like things are wacky, that they're changing a little bit of I don't know, because we only have a couple more issues left. And all I can think of at the end. This feels like a weird
situation, though. Like I say, that's our cliffhanger. But this feels like a weird situation where our story now has to make sense with what James Tynion did in the Joker series. As well. Because in that, we have Bane alive and well saying that he did A-Day, which makes everything we've seen in this not make sense, because I don't know how it works, because you have this weird netting behind Bane, which you saw being shot at him during when the goons were after him previously. But that motherfucker is hovering above the balcony.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Flying.
It's very odd.
So even it says, next, guys, seriously, what's up with Bane?
I know, yeah. What's up with Bane? What is up with Bane? And I agree.
What is up with Bane? Because we have had zombie Bane this whole time, but it's a zombie clone Bane who might have superpowers now, and now that you give him Venom. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like it's natural.
And it's weird because, you have this whole idea they're desperately trying to get more and more Lazarus resin. Oh my God, we got to get this. We're going to end up needing this. This will take us another day or two, whatnot.
Zombie Bane.
But you would think at the end, you're going to either, maybe have to get rid of Super Zombie Bane. He'll probably end up, but also end up where everybody kind of has to get enough Lazarus resin so that they end up coming back to life normally. So we could say, okay, everybody go back to your books. You're there. You're a villain here, whatever.
And even Man-Bat, I don't know what he's doing.
I think it's just going to be Bloom like, all right, I set this up. That's what I wanted to do. And you'll have all of Gotham. It'll rain Lazarus. Oh my God, I'm so much better. But I don't understand in this issue the progression and why you're doing this. And when we said before that one of the things that we were shocked that we kind of liked Bloom being this crazy guy. But now it's at a point where I don't know what Jerry is even letting this guy do anything or even do.
He is reconstituted, Man-Bat's body. He is human. He is still kind of messed up, though. But it seems that he is just working with Mr. Bloom now and enjoying takeout. He's just eating this entire time.
I mean, guys, seriously, what's up with Bane? I'm like, what's up with this book? I love the last issue. And it wasn't even the idea of a progression. Sure. It was all Jason Todd. And then you just had this. And even, I'll tell you one thing. Throughout this whole issue, I did laugh. It didn't play out as well as it might have been able to, but it did end up really feeling like Jason was like a parent who was chaperoning a school, a field trip.
That's what I've liked about the series overall, like how he has to wrangle in the zombies.
I really like, because he's like, come on, everybody, get on the bus. He's counting heads, and it really came to that.
You're not eating that guard. You're welcome.
That was fun. But the story just did nothing. It really was a bit of a disappointment. Even then, where you have a character come back that nobody cared. Nobody cared about Sundowner. You almost have to explain to Sundowner completely, because
I totally forgot about her.
Yeah, and then the hey, this is where we ended up dying. Well, this is where we're living now, boys. And then you end up having the negotiation haggling with Black Mask. Oh, really? Really?
5.5 out of 10, even though I enjoyed the art. It's just, this is a very down issue for a series that you and I have both been enjoying. It seems like there was not enough, or there was too mmany issues for the story to be told, and we had to fill in some, bullshit in here just to fill out the gap a little bit.
It is weird, and we end up having, this was always in our mind at first connected with the DC versus Vampires, where we didn't get enough issues yet. Now we have this, and it does feel like maybe this could have been a 6-issue man, but then again, I don't know that the story was told at that point either, so we'll have to see, but I'm going to give it a 5.5. Not a Kiss My Grip 6, Eric, but a 5.5.